Hello, welcome to Modoti channel. I'm Anne. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a mentor, and I'm a mother of four, two adults and two teenage boy and girl. And today I want to talk about my very first episode of my motherhood journey. And in this very first episode, I'm going to talk about how I became a mother before I fully understood myself. It's not a story of sympathy, it's actually a story of how motherhood has shaped the leadership in me and how I have continuously braved the challenges that come with motherhood. Motherhood has its own challenges, whether you become a mother at teen, whether you become a mother as an adult, it has its own unique challenges. The only difference with when you become a mother at teen is the age difference. But the challenges are more or less the same. As far as getting a new baby, as far as waking up to do 1, 2, 3, as far as the expectations of a mother are concerned. Now, as for me, motherhood found me in the university. I was a first year, and I joined the university, and actually I didn't know I was pregnant. Even when orientations were going on, I was feeling funny. I had missed my period, but they never used to be regular anyway, so I had no reason to worry. And then 2 months later, I realized I was actually expectant. And now here was me, a student in a new environment, residing in the hostels. And there I was. I had to now start balancing motherhood, because you become a mother as soon as some life is deposited in you. So I was managing a new life in me. I was managing lectures. I was managing assignments. I was managing new friendship, new freedom, because this was the first time I was being away from home under no strict rules. I had been in a boarding school anyway, but you see, boarding school is more of being at under care, even more than being at home. So that was me. And now I had to now know how to balance my time. Now, as for me, I would say that my very, very first encounter with motherhood was how to balance my time. Leadership was being cultivated in me unknowingly. Time management, discipline. Because when you become a mother, when you're still a student, then you really, really have to know how to balance your time. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. You have to know how to give time to your child when he comes, because my child actually came at the end of my first year. You have to know how to give time to your family. You have to know how to balance your emotions, because there are emotional pressure that comes with motherhood also, a lot of it. You have to know how to balance your lectures, completing your assignments, completing your exams in time, and all that comes along with it. I call it balancing dreams and diapers. I would say that mine was a journey of resilience. I would say it's more of resilience because I became a mother, I would say, before I was emotionally mature enough to brave motherhood. This is something that people all normally overlook. Motherhood needs a lot of mentorship, by the way, that very few institutions or organizations, so to speak, offer. Even as I'm talking, I'm really reflecting on starting a mother center where young mothers can be mentored, just being mentored, being talked to, where they can share their frustrations, not really frustration of a child, but the emotional imbalance that comes with motherhood. You see, when you become a mother, especially at an age when you still are confused between being a girl and being a woman, then you really have quite a lot to mature about, a lot of maturity to do. In most cases, people just do it through trial and error. It's a trial and error affair. I'm already a mother of so and so, and this is what I'll do, waking up, preparing my child, ABCD, taking to the clinic. But then there is the emotional part of it that comes with it. There are lots of mood swings. What do you do when the child cries excessively? Young children can be very draining. Sometimes they have their own struggles. Like me, what I knew of young children before I became a mother was what I saw my mother doing. I was brought up in the rural, and you see, during those times, our mothers were more of using herbs. So there are these herbs that I used to know. Like the very first thing I saw my mother doing to our young ones once she came from the hospital, I saw it, especially with our last born. The last born is the one that was born when I was now seeing most of the things. So I saw my mother sending us for Sodom apple, and the Sodom apple would be used on the umbilical cord. So she was, after bathing the boy, he's a boy actually, and then massaging him, And my mother used to have a mixture of herbs that she was mixing with ghee to massage the boy, massage him. And then there was Sodom apple. So she would prick, we would bring Sodom apple, and she would prick Sodom apple, and then put the fluid on the umbilical cord. And she told us that it fastened the healing. And actually, I think it did, because after just about less than a week, 4 to 5 days or 6, the part of the umbilical cord was fallen, and the open wound was closing, and it would start healing. And then there was what she would also send us for. There's some herb I was also aware of. We were calling it a lama. So we would go for it. I would see my mother boiling it and then using it to wash our baby brother. And part of it, the baby brother would drink, and she was telling us that it was helping in bowel movement. Now, here was me, a young mother, away from home. There were no phones those days, so maybe if there were herbs, my mother would just send them through courier, sending through the bus or when somebody went home. And therefore, you see that kind of environment where now you have to bring up your child without the hubs that you knew. So I remember my son really struggled with bowel movement because I think we did give the child grains. I mean, we changed the meals very fast. We started giving him porridge very fast because he was a son. You see, boys, exclusive breastfeeding would not work for me. And even those days, the clinics were not really emphasizing. That was 1997, exclusive breastfeeding. And even if they did, I had a lot of pressure and I didn't have a lot of milk because of being a student, being a young mother, and struggling with a young family, which was balancing between having enough to having what to sustain us. So I had to introduce my son to porridge very early, and I didn't do it with pewa corns. I did it the way I used to see my mother doing it. I mixed cassava, millet, finger millet, omena, and some groundnuts. And I think I might have done it so early when my son's bowel or the system, digestive system, had not matured. So yes, we would say that it makes the child, those days people used to compete on which child is fatter, which child looks healthier. I remember there used to be this magazine called Parents Magazine, where people would even take photos of their children, and we have baby of the month. So we were competing on which child is fatter. So the fatter your child was, the better mother you are. So even introducing kids to such kinds of heavy grained drinks was not a surprise. So my son really struggled with bowel movement. I remember at a point we had to help him with bowel movement by taking some soap, a piece of soap, and pushing inside his anus so that he could poop. And this went on for some time, up to around 8 months. He would really struggle. Those are some of the challenges. Those are some of the things that nobody tells you. You just bump on them. And then again, my son had this, I don't know how to call them. I think it's a fungal infection. But they were really recurring. And those times, I didn't know that fungal infections recur. Actually, he outgrew them. And I thank God for that. They were my greatest worry during those times. And there are so many teachings that came with them. I thank God for media nowadays and a lot of information that is in Google and all the media platforms where people can share, because those times information was very limited. So you had to ask. If you go to the hospital, they give you antifungal. They will tell you it recurs, and sometimes it will be very expensive because you had to pay. So we had to seek traditional ways of doing it. So sometimes you're given traditional herbs. There is a time I was even told that for it to end, my people called it luodo. I was told that is called luodo. And when you want to treat luodo, you have to wake up very early. You have to agree with somebody who has given birth to twins, and then you have to wake up very early in the morning before you greet somebody. And she also has to wake up early before she greets somebody. And you should be the first one to knock the door. And when she opens the door, she spits the first saliva in the baby's mouth. That such kinds of crazy teachings. And it would be so desperate, thinking of how is it going to end, thinking of suppose it has to take me to the point of having to go with my child to somebody who has given birth to twins to give the first to spit the first saliva in my kid's mouth. So those are some of the challenges that came with motherhood during our times. It was very tough. That was 29 years ago. Right now, things have changed. But even with the internet, I still know there are struggles, because some of what is working for me might not work for you. You can research some information that maybe is not working for you. It has worked for somebody else. You can use some drug that is not working for your baby. It is working for somebody else. And then come the toilet training. It's not easy. Just start with the diapers. During our times, it was nappies. And a good mother was measured by, or was known, let me use the right English, not measured. Measured is direct translation. A good mother during our time was known by the number of napkins that you could wash and hang on the line. And you could compete how white they are, so you could soak. And remember, I was a student. All this was happening when I was a student. And I want my nappies to be white, the nappies of my son to be white. I want to leave them aired in a line as I go to school. And looking at it, I would say that motherhood can be hectic, especially the very, very first times of motherhood. Maybe by second born, you have 1 or 2 lessons that you've learned that you can apply. But the very, very first steps of motherhood can have lots and lots of challenges. And in this first episode, I'm really not going deeper into talking about them. I'll talk about them as time continues. But what I want to conclude by saying is that motherhood has a lot of emotional roller coaster. And if you are a new mother, or if you are a mother, especially of young ones, I'm still discussing motherhood of young ones. I've not come to motherhood of teenage, because I'll also talk about it in my motherhood journey in the coming episodes. I'm still talking of motherhood of young ones, and specifically to first mothers, that as a mother you need counseling. You need a functional group. Motherhood can also be very lonely. You need a functional group. You need somebody to talk to. You see, you could be having your spouse, but you see, maybe both of you are new in parenting, and therefore you have your own emotional problems, especially sometimes you lack sleep, sometimes the child is really crying, or sometimes the child, you don't even know why they are crying, sometimes the child is sick, or you also have your own personal challenges as a family, as a young family that is coming up. And therefore, I would say that in terms of leadership, motherhood cultivates automatic leadership in you, responsibility, time management, like me it did. And most of the responsibilities that I'm partaking of now, I would say that most of them came instantly, because I built them as a young mother. That stamina that comes with young motherhood, that emotional balance, because motherhood can drive you crazy. So if you survive it, you are able to survive a crying child, a husband who wants his attention, balancing meals, then and even career, Like me, I was balancing this together with my brain as a student. In the process of balancing, you might not know that you are really becoming somebody. It's a process of becoming, actually. And in the process of balancing, you might not know just how much training you're going through. But today, when I look back, I want to say that really motherhood in itself is a leadership training institution, in quotes, a leadership training institution. Because if you do it with some bit of sanity, sometimes I would say that I'm an example of motherhood gone wrong. Sometimes I would lose my head and shout even at the young one, or just put him on the bed to cry, because sometimes the child is crying, you don't know what they're crying for. They're breastfed, you've done what you can do, and they're still crying. Just put them on the bed. You continue crying. What am I going to do? And of course, as they cry, even as you've done that, you are feeling so bad about it anyway. There's nothing that makes a mother unhappy as when your child is crying aimlessly, you don't know the reason. So much as you can be shouting or just getting worked up, you are also frustrated. And I would say that for young girls who haven't yet become mothers, or who are just about to become mothers, I want to tell you that you're stepping into a responsibility that needs a lot of level-headedness, that needs a lot of support. You need to seek support. Don't get overwhelmed yourself. If you can visit a counselor, do so. You need to visit a counselor once in a while as a young mother. It's healthy, so that you don't lose your head. There are certain things that you can ask. You can join groups. If there are community groups of young mothers, you can join them. Talk about motherhood, talk about toilet training, share challenges. Children are unique, but there are some challenges that cut across. Encourage each other, and also feel that you are not losing it, because again, motherhood can come with weight loss or weight gain, and there's nothing as bad as when you are out of motherhood and somebody tells you that, oh, you have really gained weight, or you have really lost weight. Like me, I lost weight in my first as a first mother. I lost a lot of weight. I was haggard. You could see my cheekbones. And I encouraged myself. Somebody was telling me that, oh, it's just because you're breastfeeding. But you see now, when people also comment, you feel so lonely. You feel like, oh, I've changed that much. And then I've also seen people who have gained weight. Okay. Personally, I've never gained weight in any of my motherhood journeys. I'm a mother of 4, as I've told you. But in the third motherhood, after my third birth, I gained some weight, but it wasn't so much that would make somebody to get worried. But I've seen those who gained excessive weight, and you really struggle. You don't know what to do. Your clothes are no longer fitting you. You are so big, and people will not stop telling you how big you are after giving birth, or how thin you are. People are telling me how thin I was, and there's some loneliness that comes with it. So looking back today, I would say that motherhood has shaped leadership in me, discipline in me. I started motherhood early, and in terms of discipline, I know how to do my things. I know how to share. I know that I don't need to waste. If I have this amount of money, because I started motherhood before I even started earning. So I know that if I have this amount of money, This should do this, this should do this. Although sometimes I want to honestly say that I've never given myself a good girl treatment because of the early motherhood. Because it's always about my children, my children, my children. And I've been thinking about it. And I think now that I would say they are becoming more and more independent, one of these fine days, I'll start giving myself a good girl treatment just to appreciate how far motherhood has come with me. So if you're watching this channel or this conversation, if you're listening to me today, I want to tell you that irrespective of what time or what period you become a mother, let that chapter not define your entire life. You can maneuver, you can brave it, you can use it as an opportunity to grow. I maneuvered. I balanced education and motherhood. It wasn't easy, but I did it. You can do it. So that's what I have today for our conversation on my motherhood journey, the very, very first ones. First journey as a student mother. I'll be bringing more random conversations, toilet training, on balancing motherhood and career, balancing motherhood and being a wife, a good wife, because even as a mother, your husband still expects a good wife. And how it has shaped me. I've chosen to look at the positive side of it because there's a lot of positivity, a lot of satisfaction that comes with motherhood anyway, as much as it has lots and lots of challenges also. There are lots and lots of great and wonderful and a pack of goodies that comes with it as well. Thank you for watching my journey in this first episode of motherhood and for watching this conversation on Modoti channel. As I've said, I'll be talking more and more about it. If you have not subscribed to Modoti channel, kindly do so. And join this conversation, join this journey, and support me. Let's move together as mothers. Thank you.